Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Steven the Laggy Gamer. You know, I've beaten a lot of games here the past week or two. I've got about 2 or 3 videos I'm probably going to knock out here, back to back to back on some game discussions. So you're probably going to see the same shirt. You're going to see me sipping on this Diet Coke because I want to hurry up and get these filmed and put them up for you guys. But first game I'm going to start off with here was a major release last year. Won numerous awards. Got Game of the Year and everything. Got the VGAs, if that means anything. And that is The Walking Dead. The TellTale game series that you can get on Xbox Live Arcade. You can get the hard copies here. You can get it on PS3, PC. I had initially downloaded the first episode digitally because I'm a huge fan of The Walking Dead show, the comic book, anything with zombies in it. I know they're getting played out these days, but I'm still a huge zombie fan. I love any type of zombie game, survival horror. That's my thing. So finally got a hard copy of this game just 2 days ago, and I sat down and I played it last night and this morning, and finished out the whole episodes with it. So without further ado, we'll get into my thoughts on it. You know, this was, like I said, it got tons and tons of praise last year. One of the best storytelling games that you could play. So I was really excited into getting into it and seeing what all the hype was about. And, you know, for the most part, I am 100% behind it. It is the storytelling in this game. It's the set pieces. They're fantastic. The characters are really memorable. But I don't know if it like affected me as much as it might affect anything. Game of the Year for me, it definitely would not change my top 10. I don't even know if it would crack my top 5 for games last year. But I'll get into more of that. So far, let's just crack into it. Pretty much the concept of this game is you're with this guy, Lee. That's how it starts off in episode 1. Just a black male. He's in the back of a cop car, and he's getting taken to prison. And while he's getting taken to prison, some story unfolds. You wreck the car, and that's pretty much how it all starts. You see a zombie within the first few minutes of the game, and you're fighting for survival from there. Later on down in the game, he meets Clementine, this little girl, and he pretty much makes it his mission to try to protect this girl and keep her safe. And you're pretty much just you're going to find shelter or a place. Just you're kind of wanting to find her parents. You're telling her that, but you're just trying to survive mainly. And throughout your journey, you're going to meet many characters that are going to get involved into the story along your way. And that's pretty much all I'll say about the story. Very touching and great storyline, but I'll get more into that later. The gameplay of how this game goes, it's pretty much it's an adventure game. It's my first TellTale game, so I don't know if this is how they normally set their games up. But as far as an adventure game, instead of just being point and click, you actually do have control over Lee a lot in this game, where there could be a static area that you're in, but you can actually walk around the area. It could be a farmhouse, it could be a front yard, and you can walk around, and there'll be interactive points within this destination that you can interact with. It could be an item you can touch and pick up. It could be a person you can talk to. And that's pretty much how this game is set up. It's really easy to control, and no problems there with it. I like how it was set up as an adventure game. I think if they set it up any type of other way, it would have took a lot away from the story. So I really enjoyed how this game was set up, and maybe this can kind of get, since it did sell really well, like open more doors for more adventure games of this type, because I really enjoyed it. Just story. I love a good story. Like I just finished Ni no Kuni. I love a really good story. That's what really makes a game for me, and characters in it. So, and this game does not disappoint at all in that fashion. Sip drink. Gotta have a drink this time when I'm doing discussion. I notice most times I start like losing my voice and coughing a lot during these discussions. So anyway, back to the game. That's pretty much how the gameplay is set up. There are some combat sections where it's mostly quick time-ish events type things where you might have to hatchet something by hitting the A button really quick, shooting a gun. There are gun sequences where they have their gun up and you're moving it and aiming and shooting with the right trigger like in any shooter. So there's a lot of variety and stuff in how they mix it up, but still all in all just an adventure game. And yeah, really good kind of gameplay aspect. I like how that was set up. Really did get you involved into the story. And let's see, as far as like visuals and detail, I love how they set it up visually with having this comic book-esque like style, kind of sticking with the roots of the series with The Walking Dead. I love how they did that. They had some really good set pieces of where it could be some hideouts where they were hiding out. Sorry, one of the downfalls of recording on your phone is people will call you in the middle of recording something. So, hoping they don't call back. As I was saying, set pieces were gorgeous. There could be beautiful landscapes with the comic book style. There could be just blood-filled rooms you go in with dead bodies. There was a major problem I was having with as far as visually, and that is I adjusted my brightness on the game all the way up, and you can't adjust your TV brightness so far up, or it'll make your picture look cloudy. But for some reason, I was playing a 360 version. There were some areas that there was just no light. And I don't know if it was meant to be that way, but apparently I was interacting with stuff that I could not even see. Yet he could see it on the screen, but it was just pitch black on mine. I don't know if it was supposed to be like that. I actually watched a few videos after I had played the game to see if it was the same thing on other people's. And I don't know if they were playing on PC or something where they were able to adjust it more, but they could see it on their screen, same parts, but on mine, I could not see a thing. And like I said, the brightness was all the way up. So I don't know if that's just a little glitch on a disc game or maybe a download thing. Another problem was frame rates. I know people probably heard this with other versions. On this 360 version, since I had the digital download of the first episode, I started with episode 2 on this CD, and from the get-go, there were some major hiccups in episode 2. But as the game played along, episode 3, 4, 5, I didn't get as many, and I couldn't really tell when they were happening. It was mainly during maybe a cutscene. It never screwed me up to where if there was a quick time event, it wasn't reacting. But that first episode 2, I had some major problems with some frame rate stuff. And in an adventure game, it's kind of important, because like you said, if there is a button press you got to do and the frame rate screwed up, you could be dead, or one of your friends could be dead. So that was a problem at first, but then as the game, maybe I got used to it and just didn't notice it. But as the game went on, it didn't really affect me as much. So if the frame rate thing's a problem, you might want to go with the digital copy instead of these hard copies. But Dustin had told me if you bought a copy and took a picture with it and showed it to TellTale, they might give you a digital code. I'm not sure. But it did fine throughout episodes 3, 4, 5 for me. So anyway, other than those two problems with the lighting and the kind of frame rate, visually I thought everything was really good. Zombie designs and stuff were really good. When there was gory sets, if you shot someone's head off, lots of blood. Some set pieces for some set fights where you're just mashing away a zombie's head and stuff splattering everywhere. I just thought it looked really good. And I thought characters were well designed. They looked good as well. Also, the sound with the game, I thought they had a great soundtrack for it. There's a theme that's kind of constantly playing during some of the softer moments in the game that was really nice, and music cued perfectly every time. If there was a really tense moment in the game, some nice tense music would come up. So it's really good, subtle music, not very overwhelming or overpowering, taken away from anything going on around you. Just thought it was really good, fit really well. Now back to the story with the story has a lot in it, with as far as great character development in most places. Then other times I figure characters aren't being developed as well. I felt like some characters there was a lot left out there for them. I don't know if it's maybe decisions I made that kind of made it happen that way. Also felt other times there were characters, if I was warming up to them. If you pick one thing they're against, it's like they're turning a cold shoulder against you. Then the next moment you can say something happy again and they're back on your side. I thought it was a little too easy to go back and forth and just have this bipolar effect with other characters. I don't know. I think there should have been a little bit more balance between that or something. And just some things would happen with characters that just didn't seem to make sense sometimes. If I was picking a good thing, someone should have reacted good to. I don't know. Just if it was supposed to be said moments like that, I know it was disappointing sometimes with because in the game you're gonna have characters. You're making decisions, some tough decisions. Sometimes you gotta choose between lives. Who's gonna live? Who's gonna die? And other times they can trick you and thinking you're gonna save somebody, and it doesn't matter what you do, someone's gonna die anyway. But I just thought I had made an investment in a certain character or something, and seeing something happen to them when it got kind of confusing. Like, why would you give me certain choices here? Then later on in this point, you just don't give me much decision or say so to change an event. I don't know. Maybe just the story was supposed to play out that way, but you shouldn't have let me invest so much time ahead of time trying to do stuff for that character. I don't know. But stuff like that kind of bothered me. Another thing that kind of bothered me in the game that it might not be a huge deal for some people, but like this is a pretty emotional roller coaster game if you really get involved and invested into it, like a good book. But the ending and stuff, nothing like that affected me at all. The end you kind of see coming. It's kind of expected anyway. I'm not going to say what happens, but from how people talk, you probably know what's going to happen. What really got me was a thing that happened in, I think it was episode 3. And I don't know if I want to go into spoiling it for anyone, but there's an event that happens in there, and I don't think there's any way to change the event. I think what happens, it's going to happen in the game no matter what you decide to do earlier in the game or not. And I don't know, it has to do with. I'm going to have to go ahead and say it. So this is major, major, major spoilers. I don't know how to alert anymore. This is a spoiler coming up right here. It should only take me about 30 seconds to get it out. But I'm going to start it right now. Here is a spoiler. There's a moment in the game in that third episode where a child actually gets infected who's with your party, and you have to make a decision. You're gonna have to end this child's life. And I just did not feel comfortable at all in that situation. Whether it was me, one who was gonna shoot this kid, or was gonna be me picking another character to do it. I'm all for people doing their creative genius in games, 100%. But man, just certain things. I was gonna put the game down and not play it anymore after that, because if I was gonna have to make decisions like that to kind of end a child's life in a game, that's that's not something I want to do. That's not fun to me in a game to do stuff like that. It's I know it's just a game, but sometimes like this stuff can affect people logically and everything like that, and I just wasn't for that, and it almost made me put the game down. But after the scene takes place, you don't really see it happen. It's not like original scene where you're shooting at someone's head, you see it all happen. When the scene happens, it pulls away. You still see the shot go off, but you're not seeing the kid. And I don't know if that's something I want to see in a game, just kids dying. I know it happens in real life. There are children dying every day. But I'm not kind of the one in control of it. And again, I know it's just a game, but it was just a really weird feeling having to go through something like that. I know they probably wanted to give you an emotional punch in the gut, which if it succeeded. I tell you, it succeeded. But and it's not like he's the most likable character in the game anyway. But it is just a child. I know this could be pushing a lot of buttons, but that's like going back to that Call of Duty scene where you're shooting up an airport. Do we really need that in the game? Do we? I don't know. I don't think we really need it. But for a story adventure game, maybe you do, just to get that, like I said, that emotional jolt hitting you in the gut. And I don't know if it, like I said, if that's what it was meant to do, it succeeded. But it also almost succeeded in me putting down the game and not wanting to play it anymore, because that's not kind of what I was expecting to come from a game. But I am an adult. I could push through it and keep playing it and realize it is a game. But it was just an emotional, like really gripping scene. That whole episode was pretty tough to go through, and it was just crazy. But other than little things like that kind of affected me, I think the story as a whole was really good. How they developed some characters, and how the choices you get to make between people. They put some tough decisions in your hands in this game, and I've only played through it once, so I don't know if it's going to, if me picking something else would have saved a life or ended a life, or how that would have happened in the long run anyway. I don't know if it would have just been me and the same group of people at the end of the game, no matter what I would have done. But they do a good job of making you think if you would have done something different, then maybe you could have saved this person. And at the end, there's someone kind of judging you, like telling you what you've done and telling you the kind of person you are. And when they're repeating this person's repeating this stuff to you, you're kind of like, wow, I really did that stuff, didn't I? I can't believe I did it. But yeah, other than that one part that I mentioned, I'll try to put the times in the description below of how that spoiler was. But I just wanted to get that out there. But or maybe I'm just softy and I shouldn't be dealing with stuff like that anyway. But all in all, I still think it was a great game. When season 2 comes out, I'll definitely be playing that. Um, yeah, just fantastic. So if anyone's into adventure games or or zombies or Walking Dead, definitely give it a try. I think it's cheaper to download it digitally, so you might want to do it there. I actually waited for a used copy to get into a GameStop because I had like some coupons and stuff where I got $10 off of it. So I was really waiting for a used copy. So I got it, picked it up. I don't regret it. It's nice having a good story altogether. I just wish in some cases there was some more character development. Maybe it just needed to be a little bit longer too. Maybe I don't know. Maybe season 2 will be like 7 or 8 episodes. Get some more story in there. All the episodes weren't too long. Only took about 2 hours to complete. I think most of the time. I think the fourth episode was really long though. That took me a while to finish that one. But anyways, I've rambled on enough about that. Definitely give it a try if you're into uh, just great stories in games, because this is a great story with great characters. And yeah, so that's about it. Like a gamer, like out.